This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon
Welcome
Dixon.
back to Duffle LO to Sit Down, and today we're going to talk once again about this C-19 stuff that's going around. It's two different strands that I just recently learned about, and the first one that I'm going to talk about is the one that just recently came out in France, and then we're going to go through it. So let me share my screen so you guys can see what we're going to do. I'm going to do all these videos today, although I drop them in different days. So I'm going to show you guys how to see what I do. So right here, so this is not the one we're starting off, right here. So right here, so when you're watching a video, if you look here, you will see what order to watch the videos in. Because once I do this one today, then I'm gonna do them all in a row in one day. But I'm gonna do this one in France, then the alpha coronaviruses, and then I had classes got canceled in Chicago today, and then the ancient wisdom for the stresses of modern life. So how to keep yourself calm in this crazy time that we're living in. So that's the order that we're gonna go in today. So to get to the article, this is from Made for Minds and DW.com, and it's new coronavirus variant identified in France, which is today, and today is January 5th. So they B1640.2 was discovered in a traveler returning from Cameroon and has a high number of mutations. And a first Florona case has been confirmed in Israel. So if you go back to the deer episode, when I talked about how in the deer, it had 6 different variations inside the deer. So now they're saying this one has a high number of mutations. So let's find out what they're saying. Just when we thought things were looking up at least a little, because the Omicron variant, while being more contagious, often takes a milder course than Delta, a new variant has emerged. We do not yet know how dangerous it is or even where it originated. We started off with COVID-19, then we went to the Delta variant that came out probably, I want to say like May, then Omicron came out probably like August, September or something, and now we in January, and we already got another one. They call this the IHU. The new variant was detected in early December, so it's in December, not even January, in a traveler who returned to France from Cameroon. The hospital IHU Mediterranean in Marseille announced the return from Cameroon reportedly affected 12 people in southern France. So that's already 12 people. You never know how many of those people that went around other people. This new mutant called has 46 mutations in an atypical combination, according to a preprint study that has not yet been so they already doing these studies. As soon as they find the stuff out, they already doing the study, but it's not peer reviewed, which basically means that other scientists in the same field are reviewing the information in the study to make sure that it's okay. And it's like, what? Like this stuff is crazy. According to this study, the two already known spike protein mutations, N501Y and E484K, are also found in the new coronavirus variant. I'm call it the New York. The New York mutation, for example, was detected very early in the alpha variant, which is going to be the next video. It causes the pathogen to bind more strongly to human cells and thus to spread more easily in the body. The EK, we'll call it the EK, is one of the escape mutations located directly in the spike protein and thus possibly reduces the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccine. So now let me highlight that so we can focus on this for a hot second. So the EK is one of the escape mutations located directly in the spike protein and thus possibly reduces the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine. So people are getting the COVID-19 vaccine, they're getting the booster shot, and some people going to get a second booster shot. But because this new mutation has the NY and the EK in it, the EK makes it escape the vaccine. So now that vaccine is basically null and void with this new variant. Like, it's crazy. So how about we call it the UK instead of the EK? But what these mutations mean and whether the new coronavirus variant UK is actually more contagious than the original SARS-CoV-2 virus cannot yet be said with any real confidence due to the lack of available data and the small number of cases. So they have to take time to study this. Georg Tim, head of the Institute of Virology at the University Hospital Dusseldorf, believes that the new variant isn't extremely dangerous. The variant was first described a little while ago and has become more prominent in areas where a lot of sequencing is being done, he said. It hasn't spread widely yet. Tim added that this was a marked difference to the Omicron variant, which research realized from the start was spread very quickly. Nobody expects that the B1640 variant will cause truly significant problems, Tim said. Of course, you'll have to add a small question mark to that, but this is my current view of it. So it's in the early stages. So of course they said that it might not have truly significant problems, but in reality, who's to really actually say that? Really obviously think about that. Who's to say that it's not going to cause problems when in reality, this is a new strain that nobody never heard of. We don't know the effects of it yet or any of that. So we have to wait and see how it's going to spread, how it's going to affect people, what type of symptoms they're going to have. Okay, one person affected 12. We don't know, but we jumping into it too fast, huh? However, very low vaccination rates generally favor the emergence of new coronavirus. So this is another ploy for everybody. Now listen to this. And so let me highlight that real quick, just so we can see that's what I'm looking at. However, very low vaccination rates generally favor the emergence of new coronavirus mutations. Above, they just said that the UK makes it to where the virus escapes the vaccine. So if this little piece inside this mutated variant makes it to escape the vaccine, why is the low vaccination rates favoring the new mutations? Let me explain it to you in layman's terms. They saying because a lot of people are not vaccinated, that's why the mutations is happening. But they just stated that although people are vaccinated, this mutation can circumvent the vaccination. So really, what's the point of it? So let's go forward. In Cameroon, only 2.4% of the population is fully vaccinated, according to data from the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, United States. So that's barely any of them. As long as the vaccination campaign isn't advanced globally, new variants will continue to develop. Stick right there. As long as the vaccination campaign isn't advanced globally, which means everywhere, new variants will continue to develop. So until they have everybody or nearly everybody vaccinated, we're going to keep on getting all these different variants. But if you pay attention, they started saying that the new variant basically nullifies the vaccination. So is it going to be new vaccination that's coming out for the new variant? And then there's going to be a new variant that we need to get vaccinated for that variant. And then, so on and so on. Sometimes they're more harmless, sometimes more dangerous. So it's up in the air. You just never know. It remains to be seen how harmful this new variant will be. Possible reasons for milder Omicron course. We already know that the Omicron variant is much more contagious and is spreading rapidly around the world. But at the same time, the courses are much milder in most patients as ever more studies are confirming. It is also gradually becoming clearer which factors are at work here. The T cells of vaccinated and recovered persons react to Omicron, thus protecting most infected persons from a severe course of COVID-19. So what they're saying is if you already had it before, or if you vaccinated and you recovered, you kind of slightly protected from a severe course of COVID-19. You still might get it, but it ain't gonna be so severe. That's what they're saying. So the vaccination doesn't keep you from getting it. It keeps you from having a severe contagion and infections of it, basically. It is true that the mutations in Omicron have altered the spike protein such that the antibodies generated by previous infection or vaccination are no longer as protective. But the acquired immune response by T cells still works in 70% to 80% of cases, similar to the older beta and delta variants. Research from Cape Town, South Africa found the T cells of vaccinated and recovered patients recognize Omicron nearly as well as the original coronavirus variant, the group concluded. Omicron attacks the lungs less severely. In addition, the Omicron variant attacks the lungs much less frequently. Researchers from Japan and the US found in animal studies. That's animal studies. That doesn't say human studies. That says animal studies. So let's make sure we pay attention to that. Instead, the Omicron variant is more likely to attack the upper respiratory tract, such as the nose, the throat, and the trachea, according to the study, which also has not yet been peer-reviewed. The viral load in the noses of hamsters and mice infected with Omicron was just as high as with earlier mutations, but in the lungs, the viral load and thus the damage was significantly less. In mid-December, researchers at the University of Hong Kong came to very similar conclusions. They found that although the Omicron variant affects the bronchus up to 70 times faster than the Delta variant and multiplies there, it spreads up to 10 times less in the lung tissue. So now, COVID was hitting this. Now, Omicron and Delta hitting this. If you see which way it is working, it's working up. It's starting here and it's working up. Pay attention to that. Fewer patients need artificial respiration. These research findings are in line with the observation from Great Britain. There, too, the highly contagious Omicron variant is causing a sharp rise in the number of infections. But at the same time, the statistical risk of having to be treated in the hospital is reduced by a third compared to the Delta variant. The number of patients requiring artificial respiration is also largely unchanged, despite the significantly higher infection rate with Omicron. That's a reason for hope. However, concerns remain. The significantly higher case numbers are a major challenge for overburdened healthcare systems. Now, that right there, you got to understand. Overburdened healthcare systems. What you got to understand is because it's so many different variations of the COVID-19 that's coming out, and we have understaffed hospitals, nursing areas, like all emergency rooms, all this stuff. Why? Because they're trying to mandate and force a lot of the healthcare workers to get these vaccines, and a lot of them is saying, no, we don't want the vaccine. So therefore, all those that opted out of getting the vaccine, they're no longer at work. So the only ones that's at work is the ones that actually got the vaccine. So now that took the amount of people that they had that was already overwhelmed. And now, because most of them end up having to quit or got fired or because they refused the vaccine, now it just lowered it. So now they super overburdened and the healthcare system was not ready for all this. And there's too many variations coming out too fast. And those who have not yet been vaccinated or recovered from a previous COVID-19 infection can still fall seriously ill if they contract the Omicron variant. So you have to understand that. If you haven't been vaccinated, or you recovered from a previous COVID-19 infection, you can still fall ill of the Omicron because this is a different illness. This is a different infection. So it's still corona, but it's different. First flurona case in Israel. Meanwhile, in Israel, a 31-year-old pregnant woman has contracted COVID-19 and a seasonal influenza virus at the same time. It is the world's first registered flurona case and neologism composed of flu and corona. Now, this is an interesting story right here. What they're saying is this person got COVID and the flu at the same time. Now, what's interesting about this is in another country. And for those that don't know, that don't follow my channel, like the mother of my children, she's from another country. And right now, today, as I'm making this video, January 5th, 2022, this is what she has. She has the flu and she has COVID at the same time, literally at the same time. So before reading this article, they saying that this was the first person. Maybe I don't know, maybe they ain't check her in first. I don't know, but she got the same situation. So now when you understand that we coming into the flu season, which we've been into the flu season since the end of November, people are still going to get the flu, but then COVID is also around. So now people are catching both of them. And now once both of those get together, they're going to create a new mutation that's going to be spread to the people. So it's going to continuously be in something new because now you got the flu and COVID-19. What happens if somebody get the flu and the Delta variant? What happens if somebody get the flu and Omicron? What happens if somebody get Delta variant and Omicron? Like, so you see, you got to think, two parents, they have a child, that child expresses both parents, but it's his own person. That's how these diseases are also mutating. The pregnant woman who local paper Hamadia reported was not vaccinated against COVID-19 or the flu, was only mildly ill because Israel has seen a sharp increase in flu infection in recent weeks, and its health ministry is investigating the case to see if flurona, That's a new name. Hold on, I just not caught that. It's Flurona. They put the flu and corona together. Flurona could be causing more severe illness. This is stoke fears of twindemic. Oh my God, they coming up with so many words of both COVID-19 and the flu. Israel has seen a particular dramatic increase in severe flu cases this winter. According to the Times of Israel, nearly 2,000 people had to be hospitalized with influenza by the end of 2021. That this stuff is crazy. Health authorities fear that with such a strong flu wave, there could be many more such cases of double infections coming. Wow, this is what I got to do. I got to call her right now. I'm gonna put on FaceTime and ask this is okay if I put on this video. So I'm gonna have to edit this a little bit because I got to edit all this. And I might keep this in there just to keep it, raw and uncut. What's it do?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is it okay if I record you and put you on my video?
What you say?
Is it okay if I record you and put you on my video?
Record what?
I'm recording the video and I want to put you in there because it got something to do with what you got going on right now.
Right now?
Yeah. You ain't got to show yourself. I'm just saying, like, I'm recording right now, so your voice gonna get caught in it. So I'm making a new video. Let me tell you what you have. You have Flurona.
Pardon?
You have Flurona. That's the new word. If you catch corona, COVID virus, COVID-19, and the flu at the same time, it's called Flurona.
That's why I got Flurona.
You got Flurona. I had to call to tell you this because they said the first case was just reported the other day. And guess how old this lady is, bro? She 31.
There's a lot of people, the kids that was at the job though, some of them had flu and COVID.
So this ain't nothing new to them. Maybe they just needed to come out with a word for it.
No. I mean, it was just like when people had RSV and the flu.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff is crazy. All right. Wait. I'm recording video. I'm gonna call you right back, okay?
Okay.
All right.
See you.
So as you guys just heard, this isn't really nothing new. I mean, the word is new, Flurona, but in reality, they've been having this, like she said, because she works in healthcare. So she been around this stuff and what's going on. So she understands this stuff. Now she called Flurona before it was Flurona, but she said people been getting RSV and also the flu at the same time. So it's like the stuff is interesting, like to me. So I had to show you guys the real life. After I told you guys that happened, that's why I had to show you guys. But hopefully you guys learn something from this. I don't have any books on nothing about the flu. I don't know nothing about COVID. I'm not that deep into it, but I do understand how genetics mutate and then they create something new. I understand that as far as my knowledge go. But I'm getting ready to get into the next video where we're going to talk about the alpha variant. So I want you guys to as far as my knowledge go, but like I said, I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what it is that you think. This Flurona that's coming out, this twindemic to where they putting things together. And if you notice, there's a lot of twins that's been being born. So you gotta really use your brain. So that's all I gotta say for this video. See you guys on the next episode. We're talking about the alpha variant, so you guys can learn about that. I'm gonna learn it too at the same time, so we're gonna learn it together. So that's all I gotta say.
This video is for educational and entertainment use only. The views in this video do not necessarily represent the views or life of Marlon Dixon.